Hello, my wonderful, amazing beings of the galaxy. This is once again your nerdy stepdad coming to you today with Relic Delta and the effects it's going to have on small accounts. What is Relic Delta? Some of you might ask, or you've heard about it and you're still not 100% sure how it's going to work. So when you have a discrepancy in relic levels, so say I have a relic 1, you have a relic 9, that's a 7, 8 relic difference. And so based on that, there will be modifiers on outgoing damage and incoming damage. So really this is going to make older accounts just stronger overall because they already have a plethora of high relic characters and tunes. The one good thing about Relic Delta is that it's not averaged amongst teams at all. It is completely tune on tune. So if you have a Relic 9 GL, Relic 1 everything else, and you're going up and then that's what your opponent has, and then now you have a Relic 5 team, you should be able to kill everything else, and if it's the right team comp, you might be able to even take down that Relic 9 GL. So that's one good thing. But smaller accounts, this is really going to affect the ability to punch up. It's one thing other content creators are really great at, and they showcase that on their channels. And if you're getting into this game and you're enjoying it, I suggest you go look at other content creators and watch their GAC events and how they punch up against higher and bigger accounts. And that's just going to be harder moving forward because of Relic Delta. I do think there's some positives that the community is not really thinking about. I still think it's a terrible idea overall, but it has potential to have some good outcomes. But how do we combat this with smaller accounts? I've started a free-to-play alt account so I can play with my kid who's just starting. How am I going to combat those higher rosters in GAC who are going to have more relics than me? Right now, sometimes you can punch up just because you have the right team comp. So I think the main thing that's going to be important, especially really early game, is getting 1 to 2 higher level relic tunes on your teams. I think that should help combat people who are less informed on what is coming with Relic Delta. It's going to make you a lot harder to kill, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to kill opposing teams. And so that is something that we need to keep in mind while we're taking our first steps into this ever-evolving game. So let's take a look at some of the teams from the farming guide previous that I think is going to be smart to relic up. It should be your first relics on each team. I mean, you're getting the Lightspeed tokens, so you're going to be at Relic 0, but I'm talking we need to get these tunes to Relic 5, Relic 7 right away, and leave the rest of the teams maybe at just Relic 1 or Relic 2, so that we can really focus on just 1 or 2 each team to make us as viable as possible, to punch up as easy as possible, which will still be hard, but maybe it can help alleviate some of this Relic Delta pain that we're all about to face. So the first team we have is Phoenix. Captain Rex is going to be who you want to relic right away. 2 reasons. 1, he's the damage on the team. 2, he's needed at Relic 7 for Leia anyway, who we're rushing. So he just logically makes sense to be the person you relic high on this team right away. I think it will help a lot. So that would be my suggestion for Phoenix. For the troopers, you're going to have to get Piet up for the Executor at some point. If you're not rushing Executor, maybe Dark Trooper, because he's your damage. So, or both, Admiral Piet, Dark Trooper. Veers, Gideon, and Range Trooper, you don't have to relic as high right away. Save your relic materials, focus on other tunes and other teams. They're still going to function as a great team without being super geared out of their mind, especially if you have Dark Trooper and Piet relic. For our Qui-Gon Jinn, Let Me Die and then Jedi Knight Anakin just murders everybody team, you have to get Jedi Knight Anakin up. If you're making a Galactic Republic fleet, it would be smart to take Mace Windu up as well. For Beck's Jedi team, you're going to want to do Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan minimum R5. I suggest pushing as hard as you can to get them to R7. They have an assault battle that the two of them do together. If you have them at R7, you get to go to another tier. R9 is the final tier. R9 is really hard to get, especially early in the account, so don't push for that. R7 will be rough pushing just as it is. I think it'll do a great job. With the Inquisitors, you're going to have to get all of them to R5 to unlock Grand Inquisitor. And then you're going to drop off... I can't remember which one it is at the moment, but you drop off one of them. I think it's 2nd or 7th Sister, one of the two. You drop them off once you have Grand Inquisitor, and then you're going after Reva. But then everybody there has to be R7. So that team is just expensive. Everybody's going to have to be relicked. Wampa, I like having my Wampa pretty high relic because she can counter big teams. Her Datacron sadly is about to go away, but that doesn't mean she is not amazing in every facet of this game. The more relics you have on her, just the harder she hits, the better she's going to tank, and the less likelihood she's going to fail taking out a team on her own. I would focus on getting her to about R3 to R5 early. When you're transitioning into mid-game, she's somebody to come back and take up to 7. And then any Fat Phil fans in the house will know, take her all the way to R9. But that's only if you're a big fan of Wampa. I think she's great, but I'm not going to take her up that high. So for your bounty hunters, you're going to have most of them up to R5 for Executor. Or higher. Boba Fett R8, I think it is. I'm going off the top of my head. My relic levels could be slightly off. But I would say just get them to the relic level needed for Executor. Even if you're not going to Executor, they're very important teams. You need them for the credit heist, so go ahead and do it anyway. Like, you don't necessarily have to rush them. They can be one of the last teams that you're relicking if you're not going for Executor. If you're going for Executor, you want to kind of get them up and running faster. For Palpatine's team, just make it Vader. Just make it Vader. You gotta have him up for Executor anyway. And once he gets Merciless Massacre, he just ends teams. Early game, once you get him relicked, he can take out whole Geonosian teams by himself in Grand Arena. There's no reason not to make him your first relic on that team and to be the one you take highest. He has tons of damage, and he just helps the rest of the team move and get more turns. For the Murder Bears, you're going to have a bunch of them relicked for Leia as it is. Nisa, you have to have at R7. She's the one you want to relic up high anyway. So definitely work on her. Wicket and Chirp, I think, also need to be 3. Pablo is your tank, so you probably want to get him up a little bit so he can actually get some damage out. For your Geonosians, GBA, Geo Brood Alpha, he's going to be the one you want to take highest, probably R5. I think would be adequate, honestly. A lot of people just keep them at R12, or not even R12, just Gear 12 before relics. A lot of people don't relic them, and you can still get done the Geo territory battle, and that's fine. But if you were to only do one Geo at relic level, make it GBA. He's the tank. He also does a ton of damage with his AoE, so he's a great one to relic. After that, I would say Spy and Soldier. I know it's going to confuse some people, maybe. It's because of their ships. CLS, you just want the whole team relic, and you want them all relic high. You know, start relicking the whole team at 5, then move them up, to rec, like, they're all needed for GLs, like, need them for different things. You can get them up to those levels, but you're never going to go wrong putting a relic level on a CLS member, ever. You're just not going to regret it. The whole team is amazing. So for early teams, I think if you just get those tunes, focus on getting them up relic level first. I think that's going to help you in GAC a ton. For people who don't know Relic Delta's coming, it's going to put you a step ahead of them. For people who are starting the game and aren't following content creators, it's going to put you a step ahead of them too. And for people who've been playing the game for a long time but don't know how to mod and they don't know how to play the game, it's going to put you on even ground with them and allow you to punch up a little bit. It's going to be frustrating. It is what it is, guys. For our smaller accounts, when we get teamed up in GAC against big accounts, that have full relic teams, and teams with good synergy and people who know what they're doing, like, it's not going to be a good time. But I do think this has a chance to really help GAC in the long run. Let's say in 3 months' time. The first 3 months, it's just going to be torture, like I'm saying. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be bad. I'm not trying to hide that. I'm not trying to excuse it. I want you guys to understand this is not going to be a great time at first. But I do think that after those 3 months, those bigger accounts are going to be moved up virtue alone of Relic Delta and them having the relic teams. And once they're out of the way, those of you watching content creators and start to learn what you're doing, you're going to be matched up against more people with your galactic power, and you're going to be able to compete at a much higher level against them because you're following those content creator guides. You're being smart with your relics. You're relicking the right people on each team. You're not just relicking the whole Phoenix team up to Relic 7, leaving everything else not done. Maybe relicked because of lightspeed tokens, but not worked on any higher than that. And that's a recipe for disaster. So you're really going to want to focus on taking a couple of players' characters on each team up. And I think it's going to give you a more well-rounded roster. It's going to give you more options. Yes, over time you're going to want to have whole teams relicked. Yes, like that's the goal. But we only have so many relic materials when we're starting out. We only have so many credits. We only have so many ability mats. So instead of only having one super team, let's spread it around and make it to where we can compete with multiple teams in multiple situations so that we can focus on winning the GACs that are winnable, getting more crystals, investing back into our account. At the same time, we're going to be focusing on assault battles. Most of these teams have assault battles. These are events that take place once to twice a month where you get extra materials, which is always important. And so those teams, we'll start relicking the rest after we get some of the key characters done like we discussed. So I think while Relic Deltas might not be the greatest thing in the world, it does have the potential to help sort GAC and maybe get some of those really big accounts out of the lower tiers of GAC to let us newer alt accounts and new free-to-play players really compete and have a chance to have fun in the game, which is what it's all about. I think it's going to be good in the long run. I still think it's a bad idea, but it is what it is. It's here. It's not going away. It's here to stay. They might tweak it to where the modifier is not as much, or the damage modifier is not as bad. Like the numbers could change, but the core mechanic's not going away. So we need to embrace it, and we need to start making plans about how to make our roster the most functional it can be in the parameters of the game and what it is. And I think that is our steps to do it. I do appreciate your guys' time. I hope this gave you guys some insights and some ideas. And I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. The Lightspeed tokens are going to be a great thing. It's going to save everybody a ton of gear and Zeta materials. It's going to put you guys all in a great place. But then if you just take those extra tunes, just the next step, that next step forward, it's really going to do some good things for your account. And so that's what I think you guys should be focusing on. Shout out to my Bantha brothers. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.